Hello friends, welcome to animevis_lore. If you love what if anime stories, subscribe and join us for another epic journey. Naruto and Sasuke stood before the final door. The words "the last choice" were glowing across it. Naruto placed his hand on the door. Before opening it, he looked at Sasuke. "Whatever is behind this door, we face it together." Sasuke smiled. Like always, the door opened. A blinding light filled the space. When Naruto opened his eyes, Sasuke was gone. Naruto looked around. Sasuke. No answer. A voice echoed through the darkness. The final choice must be made alone. Naruto clenched his fist. "Who are you?" Quote. A figure appeared. It looked exactly like Naruto. But this Naruto had no scars, no memories, and no emotions. Naruto stared at him. "Another version of me." The figure shook his head. "No, I am the choice you never made." Quote. Naruto frowned. "What choice?" The figure pointed behind him. Naruto saw two doors. One was marked past. The other was marked future. The figure spoke. "Choose one." Naruto looked at the doors. "If I choose the past, I can change everything." The figure nodded. "Your parents never die. Jiraiya survives. The fourth great ninja war never happens. Everyone you lost returns." Naruto looked at the other door. "And the future? You lose everything you know. But you create a completely new world." Naruto became silent. For the first time, he had no answer. Then he remembered something. His journey. Every mistake. Every victory. Every person who had helped him. Naruto smiled. "I choose neither." The figure's expression changed. "That's impossible." Naruto stepped forward. "Then I'll create a third choice." The entire dimension began shaking. Naruto raised his hand. "I won't change the past. And I won't abandon the future. I'll carry the past with me. And build the future from it." The two doors shattered. A golden path appeared beneath Naruto's feet. The mysterious figure disappeared. Sasuke suddenly appeared beside him. "You did it." Naruto smiled. "I think I finally understand." Sasuke asked. "Understand what?" Quote. Naruto looked toward the golden path. The final choice was never about choosing between two futures. It was about refusing to let someone else decide what choices were possible. Sasuke nodded. "Then let's go." They walked forward. At the end of the golden path stood one final person. Naruto stopped. His eyes widened. It was Kushina, but this time, she was smiling like the mother he remembered. She opened her arms. "Naruto." His eyes filled with tears. "Mom." Kushina hugged him. "You finally found your way home." Naruto closed his eyes. For a moment, there were no realities. No authors. No observers. No battles. Only a mother and her son. Then Kushina whispered, "Now you have one final thing to decide." Naruto looked at her. "What?" She pointed toward a newborn world. A world without destiny. A world without predetermined heroes. A world waiting for its first story. Kushina smiled. "Who will you become when nobody tells you who you are supposed to be?" Naruto looked toward the new world. Then smiled. "I'll find out." The portal opened. Naruto and Sasuke stepped forward. And behind them, every old reality finally closed. Not destroyed. Not erased. Simply allowed to rest. Ahead of them was a completely unwritten world. And for the first time, Naruto wasn't following a prophecy. He wasn't fighting destiny. He wasn't trying to save reality. He was simply choosing his next step. And that choice would begin the next great story. The world without destiny. Naruto and Sasuke stepped through the portal. The moment they arrived, everything became silent. No chakra. No villages. No shinobi. No history. Only an endless green valley beneath a blue sky. Sasuke looked around. "There's nothing here." Naruto smiled. "Exactly." A voice suddenly echoed from the valley. "Welcome to the world without destiny." Naruto turned. A young boy stood on a hill. He looked ordinary. No special eyes. No chakra. No markings. Naruto walked toward him. "Who are you?" The boy replied. "I don't know." Sasuke frowned. "You don't know your own name." The boy shook his head. "Nobody gave me one." Naruto smiled. "Then choose one." The boy looked surprised. "I can. Of course." The boy thought for a moment. "My name is Ren." Naruto smiled. Nice to meet you, Ren. Ren looked at Naruto. Are you a hero? Naruto shook his head. Sometimes. A villain. Sometimes. Then what are you? Naruto looked toward the horizon. I'm Naruto. Ren smiled. I like that answer. Quote. Suddenly, the ground began shaking. A massive crack appeared across the valley. Sasuke immediately activated his Rinnegan. There is something beneath us. Naruto looked down. A strange black symbol appeared on the ground. Ren stepped backward. I've seen that before. Naruto turned. Where? In my dreams. The symbol began glowing. A voice echoed. Destiny was removed, but consequence remains. Naruto's expression became serious. The ground exploded. A gigantic creature emerged. It had no face, no eyes, only thousands of glowing symbols across its body. Sasuke raised his sword. What is that? Ren answered. The Guardian. Quote. Naruto asked. Guardian of what? Ren pointed toward the creature. Choices. The Guardian roared. Every possible future appeared around Naruto. In one, he became Hokage. In another, he became a normal father. In another, he became a villain. In another, he never met Sasuke. In another, he died as a child. Naruto stared at the possibilities. The Guardian spoke. Without destiny, every choice has consequences. Quote. Naruto stepped forward. I know. Then choose. Naruto smiled. I already did. The Guardian attacked. Naruto and Sasuke moved together. Naruto created dozens of shadow clones. Sasuke used his Sharingan, but every attack was countered. The Guardian wasn't stronger than them. It simply knew every possible move. Sasuke shouted, Naruto, I know. Naruto suddenly stopped fighting. The Guardian froze. Naruto looked directly at it. You can predict every choice. The Guardian nodded. Yes. Naruto smiled. Then I'll make one you can't predict. He dropped his weapons. Sasuke looked shocked. Naruto, what are you doing? Quote. Naruto walked toward the Guardian. I choose not to fight. The Guardian stopped. Its body began cracking. That choice is not permitted. Naruto answered. Then you're not protecting freedom. You're controlling it. The Guardian shattered. Thousands of glowing symbols flew into the sky. The valley became peaceful again. Ren looked at Naruto. You defeated it. Naruto shook his head. No, we changed the rules. Suddenly, a small golden leaf appeared in Ren's hand. Ren looked at it. What is this? Naruto smiled. Your first choice. Ren held the leaf tightly. But before anyone could speak, a new voice echoed across the world. Interesting. Naruto looked toward the sky. A massive black door appeared above them. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. Another door. Naruto sighed. Apparently, the door slowly opened. Behind it stood thousands of people. All of them were watching Naruto. And one person stepped forward. He looked exactly like Naruto. But unlike every other version, he had no chakra, no powers, and no special abilities. He simply smiled. I'm the Naruto who chose to become nobody. Naruto stared at him. The stranger continued. And I know the truth about this world. The sky darkened. It was never created to give you freedom. It was created to test whether you deserve it. Quote. Naruto clenched his fist. The next choice had already arrived. The Naruto who chose nothing. The stranger stepped through the black door. Naruto stared at him. You look like me. The stranger smiled. I am you. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. Another alternate Naruto. The stranger shook his head. No, I am what Naruto became when he refused every path. Naruto frowned. You chose nothing. Exactly. Quote. The stranger looked around the valley. No Hokage. No family. No friends. No enemies. No destiny. I rejected everything. Naruto asked. Then why are you here? The stranger pointed toward the sky. Because this world was created from my choice. Naruto's eyes widened. What? The stranger continued. When I rejected every possible future, reality created a world where nobody could be forced into a destiny. Quote. Ren looked confused. Then why does the Guardian exist? The stranger smiled. To make sure nobody escapes their choices. Sasuke stepped forward. That doesn't make sense. It does. The stranger looked at Naruto. Freedom sounds beautiful, but when everyone has unlimited choices, Someone eventually asks a dangerous question. Naruto asked, "Which is?" The stranger answered, "What happens if I choose nothing?" Quote, the ground began shaking. The black door behind him started disappearing. The stranger continued, "I made that choice, and the world rejected me." Naruto looked at him. "So you're trapped here?" Quote, "Yes, and you want to escape?" The stranger nodded. "By taking your place." Naruto's expression hardened. "You want to become me? I want your life." Sasuke immediately drew his sword. "Not happening." Quote, the stranger raised one hand. Sasuke suddenly disappeared. Naruto shouted, "Sasuke!" Ren stepped backward. "What happened?" The stranger answered calmly, "I removed his choice." Naruto looked furious. "Bring him back." "I will, when you give me your life." Naruto stepped forward. "You think I'll surrender?" The stranger smiled. "No, I think you'll make another choice." The valley transformed. Naruto suddenly stood inside his childhood home. Kushina was there. Minato was there. They were alive. Kushina hugged him. "My little Naruto." Naruto's eyes filled with tears. He knew this wasn't real. But it felt real. Minato smiled. "You never had to become a shinobi. You could have stayed here." Naruto looked at them. A voice whispered, "Choose." Naruto closed his eyes. "I know this trick." Quote, the illusion changed. Jiraiya appeared. Then Neji. Then Itachi. Then everyone Naruto had lost. Each one asked him to stay. Naruto's heart broke. But he kept walking. "I miss all of you. But I won't trade my real life for an illusion." Quote, the world shattered. Naruto returned to the valley. The stranger looked surprised. "You rejected them." Naruto shook his head. "No, I accepted that they are gone." The stranger became silent. Naruto continued, "That's what makes my memories valuable." The stranger's body began cracking. "You don't understand." Naruto stepped closer. "I understand you. You weren't created to be nothing." Quote, you chose nothing because you were afraid of choosing wrong. The stranger stared at him. For the first time, his expression showed emotion. "Maybe." Naruto extended his hand. "Then make a different choice." Quote, the stranger looked at Naruto's hand. Before he could take it, the sky suddenly split open. A massive red symbol appeared above them. The stranger's face turned pale. "No." Naruto looked upward. "What is that?" The stranger whispered. "The judgment." A voice echoed across the valley. "Every choice has been measured. The verdict is ready." Naruto looked at Sasuke, who suddenly reappeared beside him. Sasuke looked toward the sky. "What verdict?" The red symbol opened like an enormous eye. Then it spoke. "Naruto Uzumaki is guilty." The entire world went silent. Naruto looked up. "Guilty of what?" Quote, the answer came immediately. "Creating too many possibilities." The red eye expanded. "Your existence has destabilized every reality." Naruto clenched his fist. Sasuke stepped beside him. "Then they'll have to come through me first." Quote, Naruto smiled. "No." He looked toward the red eye. "This time, I'll face the judgment myself." The stranger stared at Naruto. "You really don't know when to stop." Naruto smiled. "That's because I haven't finished choosing." Quote, the red eye began descending. And the final trial began. The judgment of Naruto. The red eye descended from the sky. The entire valley trembled. Naruto stood alone. Sasuke stepped beside him. "I'm not letting you face this alone." Quote, Naruto smiled. "I knew you'd say that." The stranger watched them silently. The red eye spoke. "Naruto Uzumaki, you have created countless realities." Naruto replied, "I didn't create them alone." Quote, you are the source of their choices. Naruto shook his head. "No, they chose for themselves." The red eye became brighter. "Then prove it." Thousands of portals opened. Each portal showed a different reality. In one, Naruto was a hero. In another, he was a villain. In another, he was a father. In another, he was alone. The red eye continued. "Choose one reality to survive." Sasuke looked at Naruto. "Don't." Quote, Naruto nodded. "I won't." The red eye spoke again. "If you refuse, every reality will be destroyed." Naruto looked at the countless worlds. People were waiting. Children, families, shinobi, heroes, villains. Every person had a life. Naruto closed his eyes. He remembered the first author, the observer, the first reader, the last Naruto. Every lesson led to the same answer. He opened his eyes. I refuse the question. The red eye paused. Explain. Naruto stepped forward. You want me to decide which world deserves to survive. But I don't have that right. The stranger looked at Naruto. Then what will you do? Naruto smiled. Give them the choice. The red eye began shaking. Impossible. Naruto raised his hand. Golden chakra spread across the sky. Every reality received the same message. You have one choice. Continue, or end. Nobody was forced. Nobody was controlled. Every person decided for themselves. One by one, the realities began glowing. Some chose to continue. Some chose to end. The red eye screamed, "You are destroying the system." Naruto answered, "No, I'm freeing it." The red eye cracked. The stranger stared in disbelief. "You're not fighting it." Naruto shook his head. "I'm letting it choose." The red eye shattered. A massive wave of light spread across every reality. The portals disappeared. The valley became silent. The stranger walked toward Naruto. "You won." Quote. Naruto shook his head. "Nobody won. That's the point." The stranger smiled. "For the first time, I understand." He looked toward the horizon. "I want to choose too." Naruto nodded. "Then choose." Quote. The stranger closed his eyes. "I choose to live." His body transformed. The blank expression disappeared. He became a normal human being. No special powers, no destiny, no predetermined future, just a person. Ren smiled. "What's your name?" The stranger thought for a moment, then answered, "Kai." Naruto smiled. "Welcome, Kai." Suddenly, the sky became clear. The red symbol was gone. The valley was peaceful. Sasuke looked at Naruto. "So it's finally over." Naruto laughed. "You really shouldn't say that." Sasuke smiled. "Why?" "Because every time someone says that, another problem appears." Quote. Everyone laughed. But far above them, beyond every known reality, a tiny golden leaf began glowing. A voice whispered, "The judgment has ended." Another voice answered, "No, the judgment was only the beginning." Quote. Naruto looked up. His smile disappeared. A new symbol appeared in the sky. It wasn't the mark of the author. It wasn't the observer. It wasn't the first thought. It was something completely new. A symbol shaped like an open eye surrounded by a leaf. Naruto stared at it. "What is that?" Kai looked terrified. "I don't know." The symbol opened. A doorway appeared, and from inside came a voice. "Naruto Uzumaki." Naruto stepped forward. "Who are you?" The voice replied, "I am the one who remembers every ending." The doorway began opening wider. "And I have come to show you yours." Naruto clenched his fist. Sasuke stood beside him. The next journey was about to begin. The one who remembers every ending. The doorway opened completely. A man stepped out. He wore a black cloak covered with golden symbols. His eyes were completely white. Naruto stared at him. "You're the one who remembers every ending." The man nodded. "My name is Eon." Sasuke immediately activated his Rinnegan. "I can't see his chakra." Quote. Eon smiled. "Because I don't exist inside your reality." Naruto stepped forward. "Then why are you here?" Eon looked at him. "Because you have reached the point where every possible ending has been created." Quote. Naruto frowned. "What does that mean?" Eon raised his hand. Thousands of glowing pages appeared around them. Each page showed Naruto's final moments. In one, Naruto died protecting Konoha. In another, he disappeared into another dimension. In another, he became the ruler of every reality. In another, he lived peacefully and died of old age. Naruto stared at them. "There are too many." Eon replied. "There are exactly 10 million endings." Quote. Sasuke asked, "And which one is real?" Eon smiled. "None." Naruto looked confused. "They are only possibilities." "Then why show them to me?" "Because one of them is trying to become real." The pages suddenly began burning. One page remained. It showed Naruto standing alone. Behind him were destroyed realities. In front of him stood a mysterious figure. Naruto looked at the page. "Who is that?" Eon became serious. "The version of you that wins." Quote. Naruto frowned. Why would that be dangerous? Eon answered, because he believes winning means nobody else gets to choose. The page changed. The mysterious Naruto was sitting on a throne made from broken realities. Every world was under his control. Every person followed his orders. There were no wars, no suffering, no uncertainty. Sasuke looked at the image. Perfect peace. Eon nodded. Perfect control. Naruto clenched his fist. That's not peace. Eon looked at him. Then stop him. Naruto asked, where is he? Eon pointed toward the doorway. At the end. Naruto stepped toward it. Sasuke followed. Kai and Ren remained behind. Kai asked, will you come back? Naruto looked over his shoulder. I don't know. Ren smiled. Then choose to come back. Naruto laughed. I'll try. He and Sasuke entered the doorway. They found themselves in a massive throne room. The walls were covered with broken versions of the world tree. At the center sat the mysterious Naruto. He slowly stood. Naruto stared at him. The two looked identical, but the other Naruto wore a crown. You finally arrived. Naruto stepped forward. Who are you? The crowned Naruto smiled. I'm you. No, you are the Naruto who kept choosing. And I am the Naruto who made the final choice. Quote, Naruto frowned. What choice? The crowned Naruto answered. I chose to end every possibility except my own. Sasuke drew his sword. You destroyed countless worlds. The crowned Naruto shook his head. No, I saved them. Naruto became angry. By controlling everyone. By removing uncertainty. The crowned Naruto raised his hand. The entire throne room transformed. Naruto saw a perfect world. No wars, no deaths, no loneliness. Everyone was happy. The crowned Naruto looked at him. Look, this is what I created. Naruto stared at the peaceful world. Then he noticed something. Nobody was smiling naturally. Nobody was choosing. Nobody was free. Naruto shook his head. You didn't create peace. You created silence. The crowned Naruto's smile disappeared. Then prove your freedom is better. He raised his hand. Millions of realities appeared behind him. Choose. Naruto clenched his fist. I've already learned that lesson. The crowned Naruto smiled. Then let's see if you can survive it. His chakra exploded. The final battle between two Narutos began. And this time, Naruto wasn't fighting for his life. He was fighting for the right of every reality to choose its own future. Naruto versus the final Naruto. The throne room exploded with chakra. Naruto and the final Naruto stared at each other. Sasuke stepped back. This isn't an ordinary fight. Naruto nodded. I know. The final Naruto raised his hand. Thousands of golden chains appeared from the floor. Naruto jumped over them. Shadow clones surrounded the throne room. Let's see if you can control all of us. The final Naruto smiled. I don't need to. He snapped his fingers. Every shadow clone disappeared. Naruto's eyes widened. Sasuke attacked immediately. Chidori flashed through the room. The final Naruto caught Sasuke's wrist. You still believe power can change destiny? Sasuke smirked. No, I believe choices can. Quote, he disappeared using Aminotegakara. The final Naruto turned. Sasuke switched places with Naruto. Naruto appeared directly in front of him. Rasengan. The attack struck the final Naruto. The throne shattered, but the final Naruto stood inside the explosion. Unharmed. Naruto stared. He's stronger than me. Sasuke replied. Then stop fighting him with power. Naruto understood. The final Naruto walked toward them. You cannot defeat me. Naruto smiled. Maybe not. Then why are you smiling? Because I don't need to defeat you. The final Naruto stopped. Naruto pointed toward the realities behind him. You control every world because everyone believes they need someone to protect them. Quote, the final Naruto answered. They do. Naruto shook his head. No, they need someone who trusts them. The final Naruto became angry. Trust creates suffering. Naruto stepped forward. And control creates emptiness. Quote, the final Naruto attacked. Naruto didn't move. The punch stopped inches from his face. The final Naruto froze. Naruto looked into his eyes. You're afraid. The final Naruto's expression changed. I'm not afraid. You are. You're afraid that if you stop controlling everything, you'll lose everyone. The final Naruto became silent. Naruto continued, because you already lost everyone once. Quote, the throne room disappeared. A memory appeared. The final Naruto was standing alone. Every person he loved was gone. He had tried to save them. He had failed. So he created a perfect world where nobody could ever leave him. Naruto watched the memory. You weren't trying to become a god. You were trying to stop losing people. The final Naruto lowered his head. I couldn't protect them. Naruto walked closer. You don't have to. Quote, the final Naruto looked up. Then what am I supposed to do? Naruto smiled. Let them live. The final Naruto's crown began cracking. But they might suffer. Yes. They might die. Yes. They might leave. Naruto nodded. Yes. The final Naruto's eyes filled with tears. Then why would I allow it? Naruto answered softly. Because loving someone doesn't mean controlling them. It means giving them the freedom to choose you. Quote, the crown shattered. Every golden chain disappeared. The realities behind the throne began opening. People stepped out. Families reunited. Friends embraced. The final Naruto looked around. Nobody was afraid of him anymore. A little girl walked toward him. He recognized her, his daughter, the person he had failed to save in his original reality. She smiled. Why did you take so long? The final Naruto fell to his knees. I was scared. She hugged him. You don't have to be anymore. Naruto watched silently. Sasuke stood beside him. The final Naruto looked at Naruto. Thank you. Naruto smiled. You made the choice yourself. Quote, the throne room began disappearing. Eon appeared. The ending has changed. Naruto looked at him. What happens now? Eon smiled. Now there is no final ending. Naruto laughed. Good. Sasuke looked toward the disappearing throne. So the story is finally free. Eon shook his head. No, the story has only become unpredictable. Suddenly, every reality began glowing. A new world appeared beyond them. Naruto stared. What is that? Quote, Eon answered. A reality that has never existed before. Naruto smiled. Then let's see what happens. But before they could leave, a familiar voice echoed through the darkness. Naruto. Naruto froze. He knew that voice. It was Minato. But Minato was dead in his reality. Naruto turned toward the voice. A golden portal opened, and his father stepped through. We need to talk. Naruto's eyes widened. The next secret was about to change everything. The farther beyond reality, the golden portal remained open. Naruto stared at the man standing inside it. Father, Minato smiled. Hello, Naruto. Naruto slowly stepped forward. But you're supposed to be gone. Minato nodded. In your reality. Sasuke looked at Eon. You knew about this. Eon shook his head. No, for the first time, I don't know what happens next. Naruto looked back at Minato. Then which reality are you from? Minato answered. The reality before realities. Naruto frowned. What does that mean? Minato stepped out of the portal. Before the world tree existed, there was a single world. Quote, no alternate timelines. No parallel universes. Only one reality. Naruto listened carefully. Then what happened? Minato looked at him. I made a choice. Sasuke asked. What choice? Minato lowered his head. I chose to save you. Naruto's eyes widened. Save me from what? Minato looked toward the endless realities. From the future. The room became silent. Minato continued. I saw a vision. In that future, Naruto Uzumaki would become the center of every reality. Every choice would eventually lead back to him. I was afraid, so I tried to prevent it. Naruto asked. How? Minato answered. I created the first split in reality. The last Naruto appeared behind them. So you're responsible for the alternate worlds. Minato nodded. Yes. Naruto stared at his father. All those realities. All those versions of me. All those wars. Minato looked at him. I never wanted that. Naruto's expression softened. But you did it to protect me. Yes. Naruto walked closer. Then you made the same mistake everyone else made. Minato looked confused. Which mistake? You tried to choose my future for me. Minato became silent. Naruto continued. You wanted me to have a safe life. Quote, but my life wasn't supposed to be safe. It was supposed to be mine. Minato smiled sadly. I knew you would say that. Naruto looked surprised. Then why did you come? Minato pointed toward the portal. Because there is something I couldn't change. The portal showed a strange image. A small child stood inside an empty world. The child had golden eyes. Naruto recognized him. The first thought. Minato nodded. Yes, he existed before I created the first split. Naruto asked. Then who created him? Minato shook his head. Nobody. He appeared when I made the first choice. Naruto looked at Eon. Eon understood. Choice created consciousness. Minato nodded. And consciousness created possibility. Sasuke looked toward the portal. So every reality exists because someone made a choice. Exactly. Quote, Naruto looked at his father. Then why are you here now? Minato smiled. Because I want to make one final choice. Naruto became serious. What choice? Minato looked directly at him. I want to stop protecting your future. Quote, Naruto's eyes widened. Minato continued. You don't need me to decide what comes next. You don't need destiny. You don't need an author. You don't need an observer. You only need the courage to choose. Quote, Naruto smiled. That's all I've ever wanted. Minato placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder. I'm proud of you. The portal began closing. Naruto grabbed his father's hand. Wait. Minato looked at him. Will I ever see you again? Minato smiled. Whenever you remember me. The portal closed. Naruto stood silently. Sasuke placed a hand on his shoulder. Naruto smiled through his tears. He really was my father. Quote, Eon looked toward the horizon. Then we should leave. Naruto nodded. Where? Eon pointed toward a newly formed reality. Somewhere nobody has ever made a choice. Naruto looked at the new world. Then someone has to make the first one. He stepped forward, and behind him, the golden portal disappeared forever. Ahead of him was a completely untouched world. No destiny, no prophecy, no author, no rules, only one question. What will you choose first? The first choice of the new world. Naruto stepped into the untouched world. Sasuke followed. Eon, the last Naruto, Kai, Ren, and Yuna came behind them. The world was completely empty. No villages, no mountains, no rivers, no people, even the sky seemed unfinished. Naruto looked around. So this is the beginning. Eon nodded. Nothing has been decided here. Quote, Sasuke asked. Then who controls it? Eon smiled. Nobody. Naruto took a deep breath. Good. Ren looked at him. What do we do first? Naruto looked toward the empty horizon. We don't create a kingdom. Quote, we don't create a Hokage. We don't create rules. Then what? Naruto smiled. We create a place where people can choose. The last Naruto placed his hand on the ground. Golden light spread across the land. Mountains appeared. Rivers began flowing. Forests grew. But Naruto stopped him. Wait. The last Naruto looked confused. What? Naruto pointed toward the ground. We shouldn't decide everything for the people who will live here. Quote, the last Naruto smiled. You're right. They stopped. Only a small village remained. No walls, no throne, no laws, just homes and open land. Kai looked at Naruto. Who will lead them? Naruto shook his head. Nobody at first. Yuna smiled. Then everyone will have to learn how to live together. Sasuke looked toward the horizon. That sounds difficult. Naruto laughed. Probably. Suddenly, a sound came from the forest. Everyone turned. A small child walked out. Then another. Then another. Hundreds of people appeared. They had no memories, no history, no knowledge of the worlds that came before. They were the first people of the new reality. One child approached Naruto. Who are you? Naruto smiled. Naruto. The child asked. Are you our leader? Naruto shook his head. No. Then what are you? Naruto looked at the empty world. I'm someone who wants to help. The child smiled. I like that. Suddenly, the sky changed. A giant symbol appeared above the village. Eon looked worried. That shouldn't be there. Naruto looked upward. What is it? Eon answered. The first rule. Sasuke frowned. Who created it? Eon shook his head. Nobody. The symbol began speaking. Every world must have a beginning. Naruto stepped forward. Then let this be ours. The symbol continued. Every beginning requires a first choice. Naruto looked at the people. Everyone waited. The symbol asked, who will make it? Naruto looked at Sasuke. Sasuke shook his head. Not me. Naruto looked at the last Naruto. He smiled. Not me either. Kai stepped forward. No. Yuna shook her head. Ren looked at the children. Then one little girl stepped forward. She was the smallest person in the village. She looked at Naruto. Can I choose? Naruto smiled. Of course. She looked around. The world was empty. She could choose anything. A kingdom. A war. A perfect society. A world without pain. Instead, she said, I choose that everyone gets to choose. The symbol shattered. Golden light covered the entire world. Eon smiled. The cycle is broken. Quote, Naruto looked at the girl. What is your name? She thought for a moment. Then smiled. Hope. Naruto laughed. That's a good name. The new world began growing. People started building homes. Children started playing. Families formed. Friendships began. There was no predetermined future. Only possibilities. Naruto looked toward the sky. For the first time, there was nothing watching him. No observer. No author. No judgment. Just freedom. Sasuke stood beside him. So what now? Naruto smiled. Now we live. But somewhere beyond the new reality, a tiny black page appeared. It contained only 4 words. The cycle isn't broken. The page turned. A second sentence appeared. It has evolved. Naruto suddenly looked toward the horizon. Something was coming. Something that had never existed before. And this time, even Eon couldn't see its ending. The new threat. The black page floated above the new world. Eon stared at it. I can't read the ending. Naruto looked at him. You said you could remember every ending. Quote, Eon shook his head. That was before this world existed. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. I can't see anything beyond it either. Suddenly, the ground began shaking. Hope ran toward Naruto. Something is coming. Quote, Naruto looked toward the forest. A dark mist appeared between the trees. It moved like a living creature. Kai raised his weapon. Everyone stay behind us. The mist stopped. A figure slowly emerged. It looked human, but its body was made of black pages. Its face was completely blank. Naruto stepped forward. Who are you? The figure answered. I don't have a name. Naruto frowned. Then choose one. Quote, the figure remained silent. I can't. Why? Because I was created before choice. Naruto looked at Eon. Eon's expression changed. That's impossible. The figure turned toward him. You remember every ending. Quote, then you should remember me. Eon stepped backward. No. The figure smiled. You forgot. A black symbol appeared on its chest. The symbol looked like an eye crossed by a single line. Sasuke asked, what is that? Eon whispered, the unwritten. Naruto looked confused. What does that mean? Eon explained, every possibility that was never chosen. Every future that was rejected. Every person who never existed. Quote, all of them became something. Naruto looked at the creature. You. The creature nodded. I am everything that reality refused to become. Hope stepped forward. Why are you here? The unwritten looked at her. Because you made the first choice. Hope became nervous. What choice? Freedom. The unwritten raised its hand. And freedom created me. Naruto stepped between them. Then what do you want? The unwritten answered. A choice of my own. Naruto looked surprised. Then make one. The unwritten shook its head. I cannot. Why? Because every choice creates a reality. And every reality creates possibilities. Quote, and every possibility creates another unwritten. Naruto understood. You're afraid of creating more of yourself. The unwritten nodded. So what do you want me to do? The creature looked at Naruto. Choose for me. Naruto became silent. Sasuke immediately said, don't. The unwritten smiled. You understand. Naruto looked at it. If I choose for you, you're no longer free. Exactly. Then I can't. Quote, the unwritten's body began shaking. Then I will destroy every choice. The sky turned black. Thousands of black pages appeared above the world. Every page contained an unchosen possibility. Naruto looked upward. The unwritten spoke. If nobody can choose, nothing can be rejected. Naruto clenched his fist. You're wrong. The unwritten turned toward him. How? Naruto smiled. Even refusing to choose is a choice. Quote, the creature froze. The black pages began falling. One by one, they turned white. Hope looked at Naruto. What are you doing? Naruto answered. I'm giving the unwritten something it never had. Quote, what? A place. Naruto raised his hand. A golden portal opened. Behind it was an empty world. No one has ever chosen anything there. Naruto looked at the unwritten. You don't have to become a possibility. Quote, you can simply exist. The creature stared at the portal. Without a purpose. Naruto nodded. Yes. The unwritten slowly stepped toward it. Before entering, it asked. Is that your choice? Naruto smiled. No, it's yours. The creature looked at the portal. For the first time, it made a decision. It stepped through. The black pages disappeared. The sky became blue again. Everyone was silent. Eon looked at Naruto. You gave the unwritten a world. Naruto nodded. Everyone deserves somewhere to begin. Hope smiled. But then Eon suddenly looked toward the horizon. His face became pale. Naruto. Naruto turned. What? Eon pointed toward the new world. A tiny black page was floating there. This time, words were appearing on it by themselves. I choose. Naruto stared. Then a second line appeared. And my choice is to find you. Naruto's expression became serious. The unwritten had made its first choice. And it had chosen Naruto. The choice that chose Naruto. The black page floated above the new world. Naruto stared at the words. I choose. Then another sentence appeared. And my choice is to find you. Sasuke looked at Naruto. That's not good. Naruto nodded. I know. Eon looked terrified. The unwritten has never made a choice before. Why is it choosing you? Eon pointed at the page. Because you were the first person who gave it the freedom to exist. Naruto looked toward the empty world where the unwritten had disappeared. Then I'll go talk to it. Sasuke immediately stepped forward. I'm coming. Naruto smiled. I knew you would. Hope wanted to follow them, but Naruto stopped her. Stay here. She frowned. Why? Quote, because this world needs someone to protect it. Hope looked at the village. Then she nodded. I'll protect it. Naruto and Sasuke entered the portal. They arrived in a completely silent world. There was no sky, no ground, no stars, only endless white space. At the center stood the unwritten. But it had changed. It now had a face. It looked like Naruto. Sasuke's expression hardened. Why do you look like him? Quote, the unwritten answered. Because he was the first person who accepted me. Naruto stepped forward. You don't need to look like me. The unwritten touched its face. I don't know who else to be. Quote, Naruto smiled. Then find out. The unwritten looked confused. How? Live. What does that mean? Naruto looked around. Make mistakes. Meet people. Get angry. Get hurt. Laugh. Change. That's what living is. The unwritten remained silent. Then it asked, will you stay? Naruto paused. Sasuke looked at him. Naruto answered honestly. I can't promise that. The unwritten's face fell. Why? Because I have my own world. And you have yours. The unwritten looked down. So everyone eventually leaves. Naruto shook his head. No. People don't leave because they don't care. Sometimes they leave because they have their own path. The unwritten looked at him. Then what am I supposed to do when you're gone? Naruto smiled. Choose. The unwritten slowly smiled. I choose to let you go. Quote, the white world began changing. Colors appeared. A blue sky formed. Green grass spread across the ground. A river appeared. Then a small house. The unwritten had created its own world. Sasuke smiled. Looks like it learned. Naruto nodded. Yeah, but suddenly, the world stopped. The unwritten looked toward the sky. I feel something. Naruto turned. What? A dark crack appeared above them. The unwritten stepped backward. It isn't one of my possibilities. Eon appeared through a portal. His face was pale. I know what it is. Naruto looked at him. What? Eon answered. The first ending. Quote, Naruto frowned. That's impossible. Eon shook his head. No, the first ending existed before the first beginning. Sasuke asked. Then why hasn't anyone seen it? Eon looked at Naruto. Because it was waiting. Quote, the crack widened. A massive black hand emerged. The unwritten whispered. That's the thing that created me. Naruto's expression hardened. You never told me that. I didn't remember. The black hand reached toward the unwritten. Naruto stepped between them. The hand stopped. A voice echoed. You were never meant to exist. Naruto clenched his fist. Neither was freedom. The voice replied. Then both must end. The entire world began collapsing. Naruto looked at Sasuke. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. This time, we're fighting. Naruto smiled. Together, the unwritten stood behind them. For the first time, it wasn't afraid. It stepped beside Naruto. I choose to fight. Naruto looked at it. Good. The three stood together. Naruto, Sasuke, and the unwritten. Above them, the first ending descended. And for the first time in existence, the ending was afraid of the story. The first ending. The black hand descended toward the three of them. Naruto stood at the front. Sasuke stood beside him. The unwritten stood behind them. The first ending spoke again. Everything that begins must end. Quote, Naruto looked up. That's true. The black hand moved closer. But that doesn't mean you get to decide when. The first ending became silent. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. Naruto, there's no chakra inside that thing. Quote, Naruto nodded. Then we'll fight it with something else. The unwritten looked confused. With what? Naruto smiled. Choice. The first ending attacked. A wave of darkness swept across the world. Naruto created thousands of shadow clones. But every clone disappeared instantly. Sasuke used Aminotegakara. The darkness followed him. The unwritten raised its hands. Millions of black pages appeared. Each page represented a future that had never existed. The first ending destroyed them all. The unwritten fell to its knees. I can't stop it. Naruto helped it stand. You don't have to stop it. Then what do I do? Create something it can't understand. The unwritten looked at him. What? Naruto pointed toward the darkness. A choice without a consequence. Sasuke looked at him. Is that even possible? Quote, Naruto smiled. We're about to find out. Naruto stepped forward. The first ending stopped. What are you doing? Naruto answered. I'm choosing. Choosing what? Naruto looked at the unwritten. You. The first ending reacted immediately. Impossible. Naruto continued. I choose to believe that you can exist. The unwritten's body began glowing. The first ending screamed. A choice requires a consequence. Quote, Naruto shook his head. Not always. Sometimes a choice creates hope. The unwritten suddenly changed. Its body became brighter. Its blank face disappeared. A human face appeared. Not Naruto's. Its own. The first ending stepped backward. No. The unwritten looked at its hands. I have a face. Naruto smiled. You chose one. The first ending attacked again. This time, the unwritten stood its ground. It raised one hand. The darkness stopped. Sasuke stared. It can control the ending. The unwritten shook its head. No, it can't control me anymore. The first ending began cracking. You were never supposed to exist. Quote, the unwritten answered. Neither was Naruto. Neither was Sasuke. Neither was freedom. But we're here. Golden light spread across the world. The first ending began disappearing. Before it vanished, it asked. Then what happens to me? Naruto looked at it. You choose. The first ending became silent. For the first time, it had a choice. It could destroy everything, or it could stop. The darkness slowly faded. The black hand became human. A young man appeared. He looked tired. He looked lost. Naruto stepped forward. What's your name? The young man looked at him. I don't have one. Naruto smiled. Then choose. Quote, the young man thought for a long time. Finally, he answered. End. Naruto nodded. Welcome, End. The first ending was gone. But Eon suddenly appeared. His expression was serious. Naruto. Naruto turned. What? Eon pointed toward the sky. The entire universe had become silent. Every reality, every world, every possibility, everything had stopped. Eon whispered. Something even older has awakened. Quote, Sasuke looked upward. What could be older than the first ending? Eon answered. The first beginning. Naruto stared at the sky. A single golden light appeared. Then a voice echoed across every reality. I have been waiting for you, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto clenched his fist. The unwritten stood beside him. End stood on his other side. Sasuke raised his sword. Naruto smiled. Then let's meet. The golden light opened, and behind it stood the first existence that had ever made a choice. The first beginning. The golden light expanded until it covered the entire sky. Naruto stood with Sasuke, the unwritten, and End. A figure slowly emerged from the light. It had no face, no body, only a golden silhouette. Eon stared at it. The first beginning. Naruto looked at the figure. Why did you call me here? The first beginning answered. Because you changed the rule that created me. Quote, Naruto frowned. What rule? Every choice must create a beginning. The unwritten stepped forward. Then why was I created? The first beginning turned toward it. Because you were the choices that nobody made. Quote, End asked. And me? You were created because every beginning eventually needed an ending. Naruto looked at the first beginning. Then you're responsible for all of this. The first beginning shook its head. No, I only made the first choice. Naruto asked. What was it? The golden figure became silent. Then it answered. I chose to exist. The entire universe shook. Sasuke looked at Naruto. That single choice created everything. Quote, the first beginning continued. Existence created possibility. Possibility created choice. Choice created consequence. Consequence created endings. And endings created new beginnings. Naruto understood. The cycle. The first beginning nodded. Yes. Naruto stepped forward. Then why did you let the cycle continue? Because I believed it was necessary. Naruto shook his head. It wasn't. The first beginning looked at him. How do you know? Naruto smiled. Because I've lived through it. He pointed toward Sasuke. I've lost people. He pointed toward the unwritten. I've seen people created from rejected choices. He pointed toward End. I've seen endings become people. Then Naruto looked at the first beginning. And I've learned something. What? Nothing has to remain the way it started. Quote, the first beginning became silent. Naruto continued. That's what growth means. That's what freedom means. You made the first choice. But you don't have to make every choice after that. The golden figure began cracking. Sasuke stared. Naruto, what are you doing? Naruto answered, giving the first beginning a choice. The first beginning looked at him. What choice? Naruto smiled. Whether you want to keep controlling the cycle, or become part of it. The first beginning looked across the universe. For the first time, it seemed uncertain. I have never been afraid before. Naruto replied. Then you're finally alive. The golden figure slowly changed. A face appeared, then a body. It became a young woman with golden eyes. She looked at Naruto. What should I call myself? Quote, Naruto smiled. Choose. She thought for a moment. Then said, Astra. The universe began glowing. Every reality felt the change. The old cycle disappeared. Beginning no longer controlled ending. Ending no longer controlled beginning. Possibilities were no longer forced to become realities. They could simply exist. Astra looked at Naruto. You changed everything. Naruto shook his head. We all did. Quote, the unwritten smiled. End laughed. Sasuke lowered his sword. Eon finally relaxed. For the first time, there was complete silence across every reality. No prophecy, no author, no observer, no judgment, no predetermined ending. Naruto looked toward Konoha. I think I'm ready to go home. Sasuke smiled. Finally, Naruto laughed. But before they could leave, Astra suddenly looked toward the horizon. Her expression changed. Naruto. He turned. What? Astra pointed toward a tiny crack in the sky. Something was moving behind it. Something that even she could not recognize. She whispered. That should not exist. Quote, Naruto looked at the crack. A voice came from beyond it. You keep creating rules. The crack widened. I exist outside all rules. Naruto clenched his fist. Sasuke stepped beside him. Astra raised her hand. The unwritten and end prepared themselves. The voice laughed. You defeated the beginning. You defeated the ending. Now try defeating the unknown. The crack exploded, and something stepped through. For the first time, nobody knew what they were looking at. Not even Naruto. The unknown. The crack in the sky expanded. Something stepped through. It had no shape, no chakra, no energy, no name. Even Astra couldn't understand it. Naruto stared. What are you? The creature answered. That is the problem. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan. Nothing. No chakra. Astra raised her hand. Nothing happened. End stepped forward. I can't see its ending. The unwritten looked terrified. I can't see its possibilities. Naruto looked at all of them. So nobody knows what it can do. The unknown laughed. Exactly. It raised one hand. Every reality suddenly disappeared. Konoha. The new world. The first beginning. The first ending. Everything became darkness. Naruto stood alone. No Sasuke. No Astra. No Eon. No memories. He looked around. Sasuke. Silence. Then a voice appeared. You wanted freedom. Naruto turned. The unknown stood behind him. Yes. Then why do you need anyone else? Naruto frowned. Because freedom doesn't mean being alone. The unknown smiled. Prove it. The darkness transformed. Naruto saw Konoha. His friends were there. His parents. Jiraiya. Everyone he had lost. They were waiting for him. Kushina smiled. Come home, Naruto. Naruto's eyes filled with tears. He took a step forward. Then stopped. This isn't real. Kushina looked sad. Does it matter? Naruto shook his head. Yes. Because I don't want a world where my memories are used against me. The illusion disappeared. The unknown became silent. Naruto looked at it. You can create anything. Anything. But you don't understand people. Quote. The unknown asked. What don't I understand? Naruto answered. People aren't defined by what they can become. They're defined by what they choose when they don't know what happens next. The unknown remained silent. Suddenly, Sasuke appeared. Then Astra. Then End. Then the unwritten. They were all back. Sasuke looked at Naruto. What happened? Naruto smiled. We passed the test. Astra looked toward the unknown. No, it hasn't tested us. Naruto turned. Then what is it doing? Astra answered. It is learning. The unknown stepped forward. I don't understand. Naruto smiled. Good. The unknown looked confused. Why is that good? Because now you have something to discover. Naruto extended his hand. Come with us. The unknown stared at his hand. You aren't afraid. Naruto laughed. Of course I am. Then why? Because being afraid and choosing to move forward anyway is what makes a person brave. The unknown slowly reached toward Naruto's hand. Their fingers touched. The entire universe exploded with light. For one moment, Naruto saw everything. Every beginning. Every ending. Every possibility. Every unknown. Then he saw something beyond all of them. A tiny world. A normal world. No chakra. No gods. No cosmic forces. Just people living ordinary lives. The unknown whispered. What is that? Naruto smiled. Home. The unknown asked. Can I go there? Naruto nodded. If you choose to. The unknown thought for a long time. Then it spoke its first true choice. I choose to learn. Its shapeless body began changing. It became a young boy. He looked at Naruto. What should I call myself? Naruto smiled. That's your choice. Quote. The boy looked toward the sunrise. My name is Aki. Sasuke smiled. Not bad. Aki laughed. For the first time, the unknown had a name. The universe began returning to normal. Naruto looked toward Konoha. It really is time to go home. Everyone agreed. A portal opened. Naruto stepped forward. But before he entered, Aki grabbed his hand. Will I see you again? Naruto smiled. Probably. Aki asked. How do you know? Naruto laughed. I don't. That's what makes it interesting. Naruto entered the portal. Sasuke followed. Astra, End, the unwritten, Eon, and Aki followed behind. They returned to Konoha. The village was peaceful. The sun was rising. Naruto looked around. Everything felt normal. For the first time in his entire journey, nothing needed saving. Sasuke looked at him. So what now? Naruto smiled. Now we live. But high above Konoha, one final golden leaf appeared. It slowly turned into a message. Every story ends. A second line appeared. But not every ending is goodbye. Naruto looked at the sky. He smiled. And somewhere beyond the stars, a new story was already waiting. The golden leaf. Morning had finally arrived in Konoha. Naruto stood on the Hokage monument, watching the village wake up. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, there was no enemy approaching. No mysterious portal, no cosmic voice, no reality collapsing. Sasuke stood beside him. So this is what peace feels like. Quote, Naruto smiled. Pretty strange, isn't it? Sasuke nodded, almost suspicious. Naruto laughed. That's exactly what I was thinking. Suddenly, the golden leaf in the sky began moving. It floated down toward Naruto. He caught it. The moment his fingers touched it, the leaf transformed into a small golden crystal. A voice whispered, "The story has ended." Naruto looked around. Who said that? No one answered. The crystal began glowing. A vision appeared. Naruto saw himself as a child, then as a shinobi, then as Hokage, then as a father, then as an old man. Every version of his life appeared. But one image was different. A young Naruto was standing alone in a completely empty world. He looked directly at the real Naruto. Then he smiled. Naruto became serious. That's not a memory. Sasuke looked at the vision. No. Quote, that's a future. The vision disappeared. Aki ran toward them. Naruto. Naruto turned. What happened? Aki pointed toward the sky. The golden crystal is changing. Naruto looked upward. Thousands of golden leaves were appearing above Konoha. Astra suddenly appeared beside them. Her expression was worried. This shouldn't be happening. Naruto asked, what is it? Astra answered, the universe is remembering. Remembering what? Astra looked at Naruto. Every story you changed. The leaves began falling. Each leaf contained a different reality. Naruto caught one. Inside it, he saw the peaceful Naruto who had never become a shinobi. Another leaf showed the unwritten. Another showed End. Another showed Kai. Another showed Ren. Naruto smiled. They're all still alive. Astra nodded. But that's not the problem. A huge shadow appeared across the sky. Sasuke looked upward. Then what is? Astra pointed toward the center of the leaves. One leaf was completely black. Naruto stared at it. What reality is that? Astra whispered. The reality you never created. Quote, Naruto's expression changed. Why is it appearing now? Astra shook her head. I don't know. The black leaf slowly opened. A voice came from inside. You saved every world. Naruto stepped forward. Who are you? You protected every choice. The black leaf grew larger. You even gave the unknown a chance to exist. Naruto clenched his fist. Show yourself. The voice answered. I am the choice you never made. Quote, the black leaf exploded. A figure appeared. Naruto froze. It was him. But this version wore a white cloak. His eyes were completely black. And unlike every other Naruto, he had no smile. Sasuke immediately prepared for battle. Another Naruto. The stranger shook his head. No. He looked directly at Naruto. I am the Naruto who never chose freedom. Naruto stared. What did you choose? The stranger smiled coldly. I chose certainty. Quote, the sky turned black. Every golden leaf disappeared. The stranger raised his hand. The entire village froze. People stopped moving. Birds stopped flying. Even the wind stopped. Naruto tried to move. He couldn't. The stranger walked toward him. You spent your entire journey giving everyone choices. He stopped in front of Naruto. But you forgot one thing. Naruto struggled against the invisible force. What? The stranger whispered. Someone has to choose. What happens when everyone else refuses to choose? The golden crystal in Naruto's hand cracked. A final message appeared. The last story begins now. Quote, Naruto's eyes widened. And for the first time, the enemy standing before him wasn't trying to destroy his world. He was trying to decide its future. The Naruto who chose certainty. The entire village remained frozen. Naruto couldn't move. Sasuke stood motionless beside him. The white-cloaked Naruto walked slowly through the silent streets. He looked at the people of Konoha. They don't know how fragile their freedom is. Quote, Naruto finally managed to move one finger. The white-cloaked Naruto noticed. Interesting. He walked back. You still resist. Naruto forced himself forward. Let them go. The stranger smiled. Why? Because they deserve to choose. Choose what? Their lives. The stranger shook his head. That's exactly the problem. He raised his hand. The frozen village disappeared. Naruto found himself standing in a massive white hall. Thousands of doors surrounded him. Each door represented a possible future. The stranger stood at the center. You spent your entire journey protecting choice. Now I'll show you what choice really creates. Quote, one door opened. Naruto saw a world where Sasuke became a peaceful farmer. Another opened. Sasuke became a wandering shinobi. Another. Sasuke became Hokage. Another. Sasuke died protecting Naruto. Another. Naruto never met Sasuke. The doors continued opening. Naruto became overwhelmed. Stop. The stranger laughed. Too many choices. Naruto clenched his fists. That's not the problem. Then what is? You're showing me possibilities without people. The stranger frowned. What does that mean? Naruto looked at the doors. You're treating their lives like outcomes. They aren't. Quote, they're people. The stranger became silent. Naruto continued. Sasuke isn't a future where he becomes Hokage. He's Sasuke. His choices make him who he is. The stranger's expression hardened. Then answer this. A final door appeared. Behind it was Naruto's own life. But everything was perfect. Minato and Kushina were alive. Jiraiya was alive. Neji was alive. The war never happened. Sasuke was his closest friend. Naruto was Hokage. Everyone he loved was safe. The stranger looked at him. You can have this. Naruto stared at the perfect world. His eyes became emotional. You don't understand. Quote, what? Naruto smiled. If you give me everything I ever wanted, then my choices become meaningless. The stranger stepped closer. You would reject your perfect life. Naruto nodded. Yes. Why? Quote, because I want the real one. The perfect world shattered. The white hall began collapsing. The stranger became furious. Why can't you understand? Naruto walked toward him. Because you're afraid. Quote, the stranger froze. Afraid of what? Uncertainty. Naruto pointed toward him. You think certainty means nobody gets hurt. But that's not true. You can't remove pain without removing freedom. Quote, the stranger's eyes began changing. For the first time, they looked human. I lost everyone. Naruto became silent. The stranger continued. I watched them die. I couldn't save them. So I decided nobody would ever have to choose again. Quote, Naruto stepped closer. I know that pain. But you can't protect people by taking away their lives. The stranger looked at Naruto. What should I do? Naruto extended his hand. The same thing I told everyone else. Quote, choose. The stranger stared at his hand. Then slowly reached toward it. Their hands touched. The frozen village suddenly came back to life. People started moving. Birds flew. The wind returned. Sasuke looked around. What happened? Naruto smiled. It's over. But the white-cloaked Naruto suddenly disappeared. Naruto looked around. Where did he go? Astra appeared. Her expression was serious. He didn't disappear. He changed. Naruto asked. Into what? Astra looked toward the sky. Into a possibility. A small white leaf appeared above Konoha. It slowly floated down. Naruto caught it. A message appeared. Thank you for giving me a choice. Naruto smiled. Then another message appeared beneath it. But there is one choice you haven't made. Naruto's smile disappeared. Sasuke looked at him. What choice? The white leaf turned black. A final sentence appeared. Will you remain in this world, or will you leave it to protect every other world? Naruto stared at the message. For the first time, he had no answer. The choice was his alone. The choice of Naruto. The black leaf remained in Naruto's hand. The question was simple. Stay in this world, or leave and protect every other world. Sasuke looked at him. Don't let them force you into another sacrifice. Naruto remained silent. Astra stepped forward. This time, nobody can decide for you. Naruto looked at everyone. The unwritten. End. Arki, Kai, Ren, Yuna, Eon, and Sasuke, all of them were waiting. Naruto finally spoke. I spent my entire life protecting people. Sasuke nodded. And you always paid the price. Naruto smiled. That's what I thought a hero was supposed to do. Quote. Sasuke looked at him. And now, Naruto looked toward Konoha. Now I think I've been looking at it wrong. He held the black leaf tightly. Protecting someone doesn't mean destroying yourself for them. Quote. Astra smiled. Then what will you choose? Naruto looked at Sasuke. I choose to stay. Everyone became silent. Sasuke smiled. Good. Naruto continued. But I won't abandon the other worlds. Quote. Astra looked surprised. How? Naruto raised the golden crystal. I'll connect them. The crystal began glowing. Golden lines spread across the sky. Every reality became connected by a single path. No world needed Naruto to save it anymore. No world needed a chosen hero. Every world could help another. The unwritten looked at Naruto. You created a network between realities. Naruto nodded. Nobody should have to face everything alone. Eon smiled. That was the choice I could never see. Naruto looked at him. Why? Because I spent my existence looking for endings. You were looking in the wrong direction. Quote. Eon laughed. Maybe I was. Suddenly, every connected reality began glowing. The golden paths formed a massive symbol above Konoha. It was a leaf surrounded by countless circles. Astra looked at it. The cycle has changed again. Naruto smiled. Not a cycle, a connection. Suddenly, the black leaf in Naruto's hand turned white. A final message appeared. You chose yourself. Naruto stared at the words. Then another sentence appeared. That was the choice nobody expected. The leaf disappeared. Sasuke looked at Naruto. So, what happens now? Naruto smiled. For once, I have no idea. Sasuke laughed. Good. They walked through the village together. Children were playing. People were talking. The sun was setting. Everything felt ordinary. And Naruto finally understood something. The greatest victory wasn't defeating an enemy. It wasn't changing reality. It wasn't becoming the strongest. It was reaching a point where he could choose his own life without feeling guilty for choosing himself. Naruto stopped near the Hokage monument. He looked at his carved face. Then smiled. I think I'm finally home. Sasuke looked at him. Finally. But just as they began walking away, a small child appeared behind them. The child held a strange golden book. Naruto. Naruto turned. Yes. The child opened the book. There was only one sentence written inside. There is another world where Naruto never existed. Naruto's expression changed. Sasuke looked at the book. That should be impossible. The child smiled. Maybe. Naruto took the book. The pages began turning by themselves. A completely empty world appeared. No Naruto, no Sasuke, no Konoha, no chakra, no shinobi, and yet, something was watching from the darkness. Naruto closed the book. We're not finished. Sasuke smiled. I was hoping you'd say that. Naruto looked toward the sunset. The next journey was waiting. And this time, the question wasn't what Naruto would become. It was whether a world could exist without him at all. The world without Naruto. The golden book remained in Naruto's hands. The cover had no title. Only a single symbol was carved into it. A leaf with a line through the center. Sasuke looked at Naruto. Are you sure you want to open it? Naruto nodded. If a world exists without me, I want to know what it became. Quote. He opened the book. The world around them disappeared. Naruto and Sasuke found themselves standing in a peaceful village. But it wasn't Konoha. There were no shinobi, no chakra, no Hokage. People lived ordinary lives. Children played in the streets. Farmers worked in the fields. Nobody knew the name Naruto Uzumaki. Sasuke looked around. This world survived without us. Naruto smiled. That's a good thing. A young girl approached them. Are you travelers? Naruto nodded. Yes. She looked at Sasuke. Where are you from? Sasuke answered. Far away. The girl smiled. Welcome. Naruto noticed something strange. Everyone in the village wore a small golden leaf around their neck. He pointed toward it. What's that? The girl touched the leaf. We don't know. Our ancestors called it the symbol of choice. Naruto became silent. Sasuke looked at him. Even without you, your symbol exists. Quote. Naruto shook his head. Maybe it was never mine. Suddenly, the village bell rang. Everyone stopped. The girl became frightened. What happened? An old man ran toward them. The gate has opened. Quote. Naruto looked toward the mountains. A giant white portal appeared. The old man stared at Naruto. You shouldn't be here. Naruto asked. Why? Because this world was created without Naruto. Sasuke frowned. How do you know that name? The old man looked at Naruto. Because our history says that one day Naruto would arrive. Naruto was shocked. But you said nobody knows me. The old man shook his head. Nobody knows you, but they remember the possibility of you. The portal began glowing. A voice echoed from inside. The world without Naruto has been waiting. Naruto stepped forward. Waiting for what? Quote. The voice replied. To prove that you were never necessary. Naruto smiled. Good. Sasuke looked at him. You're not offended. Naruto shook his head. If this world can survive without me, then I've done something right. Quote. The portal opened. Inside was a massive city. No Hokage, no shinobi, no wars, but every building contained the same symbol. The golden leaf. The old man whispered. That is the heart of this world. Quote. Naruto asked. What does it do? It chooses. Naruto frowned. Chooses what? The future. Naruto's expression changed. Then this world has a destiny after all. The old man nodded. But nobody controls it. Quote. Naruto looked at Sasuke. Sasuke understood. This world created its own version of the author. Naruto stepped toward the city. Then we need to meet it. They entered the city. At its center stood a giant golden tree. Its branches reached into the sky. But unlike the world tree, this one had no fruit. Only blank leaves. A woman stood beneath it. She looked at Naruto. You finally came. Naruto asked. Who are you? Quote. She smiled. I am the keeper of the Unchosen. Naruto stared. Unchosen. She nodded. Every decision this world refuses to make becomes a leaf. Sasuke looked at the tree. How many leaves are there? Quote. The woman looked upward. All of them. Naruto realized something. This world didn't need him. It had learned to preserve every possibility without forcing anyone to choose it. The woman looked at Naruto. But there is one leaf that doesn't belong here. She pointed toward the highest branch. A single black leaf hung there. Naruto's expression changed. What is it? The woman answered. Your possibility. Quote. Naruto stepped forward. Why is it here? Because even though this world exists without you, it still asks one question. What question? She looked directly into his eyes. What would this world become if Naruto chose to stay? Quote. Naruto stared at the black leaf. Sasuke stepped beside him. Don't let another world decide your life. Naruto smiled. I won't. He reached toward the leaf. But before he could touch it, the entire tree began shaking. Every blank leaf turned black. The woman stepped backward. Something is wrong. Naruto looked upward. A voice echoed from inside the tree. You finally found the world I couldn't control. Naruto's eyes widened. He recognized the voice. It belonged to the first author. But the first author was supposed to be gone. The tree split open, and from inside emerged a figure made entirely of golden pages. The author smiled. Did you really think I stopped writing? Naruto clenched his fist. Sasuke drew his sword. The keeper whispered. The final author has returned. And this time, he wasn't trying to control Naruto. He was trying to control the world that had learned to live without him. The final author returns. The golden pages continued falling from the sky. The author stood beneath the massive tree. Naruto stared at him. You were destroyed. The author smiled. The author you defeated was. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. Then who are you? The figure pointed toward the golden tree. I am the author created by everything you changed. Quote. Naruto frowned. Everything we changed. Every reality you freed. Every choice you protected. Every ending you rejected. All of it created me. The keeper stepped forward. You are not the author. Quote. The figure looked at her. Then what am I? She answered. The memory of control. The author smiled. Perhaps. Naruto looked at the black leaf. You want that leaf? Yes. Why? Because that leaf contains the only possibility I cannot control. Quote. Naruto understood. Me. The author nodded. Your existence proves that choice can exist without permission. Naruto stepped forward. Then destroy the leaf. The author laughed. I can't. Why? Quote. Because it belongs to you. Naruto looked at the tree. The black leaf began glowing. The author raised his hand. The entire city froze. The keeper couldn't move. Sasuke couldn't move. Naruto struggled. You still think control is the answer? The author walked toward him. I don't think. I remember. Naruto frowned. Remember what? The first time reality became afraid. The author touched the golden tree. Before stories existed, there was uncertainty. People were afraid of what they couldn't predict. So they created stories. Stories created heroes. Heroes created villains. Villains created conflict. Quote. And conflict created endings. Naruto replied. Stories also created hope. The author shook his head. Hope is dangerous. Why? Because hope makes people believe tomorrow can be different. Quote. Naruto smiled. Exactly. The author became furious. The golden tree began collapsing. Every black leaf turned into a blade. They flew toward Naruto. Sasuke suddenly broke free. He stepped in front of Naruto. Get back. The blades struck his Susanoo. Naruto shouted. Sasuke. Sasuke gritted his teeth. You wanted to protect everyone. Start with the people standing beside you. Naruto smiled. Thanks. Quote. He raised his hand. The black leaf descended. It landed in Naruto's palm. The moment he touched it, every reality connected to him began glowing. The author stepped backward. No. Naruto looked at him. You were right about one thing. The author stared. Which? Hope is dangerous. Naruto's chakra exploded. Because once people believe they can change their future, nobody can control them forever. Quote. The golden tree transformed. Its branches became countless paths. Each path led to a different world. The author tried to stop them. But every path created another possibility. The keeper smiled. The tree has chosen. Naruto looked at her. What did it choose? She answered. Nothing. Naruto understood. It chose to let everyone choose. The author's body began breaking apart. You cannot destroy me. Quote. Naruto shook his head. I'm not destroying you. Then what are you doing? I'm giving you a choice too. The author froze. Naruto extended his hand. You can keep trying to control everything. Quote. Or you can finally become part of the story. The author stared at Naruto's hand. For the first time, the author looked afraid. You would forgive me. Naruto smiled. Forgiveness isn't the same as forgetting. Quote. The author slowly reached toward him. But before their hands touched, the black leaf suddenly disappeared. Everyone froze. The keeper looked shocked. Someone took it. Naruto turned. The city was empty. Sasuke looked around. Who? A voice echoed from the top of the golden tree. I did. Naruto looked upward. A child stood on the highest branch. He held the black leaf. Naruto's expression changed. The child smiled. You gave everyone freedom, but you forgot one thing. Naruto asked. What? The child held up the black leaf. Freedom can create someone who doesn't want to be saved. The child jumped from the tree. As he landed, his eyes turned completely black. The author whispered. No. Naruto looked at him. You know this child. The author's face became pale. I created him before I became the author. Naruto stared. Who is he? The author answered. The first rebel. The child smiled. And every golden path across every reality suddenly turned black. The first rebel. Every golden path across the realities turned black. Naruto looked at the child. The black leaf floated above his hand. Who are you? The child smiled. I was the first person who said no. Naruto frowned. No to what? Everything. The author stepped backward. He was created before stories. The first rebel looked at him. You remember me? The author nodded. You were supposed to disappear. I refused. Sasuke raised his sword. What do you want? The first rebel looked toward the countless realities. I want everyone to experience true freedom. Naruto narrowed his eyes. That's what we created. The child shook his head. No, you created controlled freedom. Quote, Naruto frowned. What does that mean? The first rebel raised the black leaf. You gave people choices, but you still protected them from the consequences. Naruto became silent. The first rebel continued. You stopped the first ending. You changed the first beginning. You gave the unwritten a world. You even gave the author another chance. Every time someone made a dangerous choice, you saved them. Quote, Naruto clenched his fist. So what are you saying? The child smiled. Let them fall. Sasuke stepped forward. That's not freedom. The first rebel looked at him. Then what is? Sasuke answered. Freedom means having the right to choose. And accepting what comes after. The first rebel smiled. Exactly. He dropped the black leaf. It hit the ground. The entire world changed. Suddenly, Naruto couldn't feel his chakra. Sasuke lost his Sharingan. Astra lost her cosmic power. End could no longer see endings. The unwritten became completely ordinary. Aki looked terrified. What did you do? The first rebel answered. I removed everyone's protection. Naruto looked at his hands. No chakra, no abilities, nothing. The first rebel looked at him. Now you're free. Naruto smiled. I've been free before. No, you were powerful. That's different. Naruto looked around. Everyone was powerless. The first rebel continued. Now you have to decide who you are without power. Sasuke looked at Naruto. Looks like we're starting from the beginning. Quote, Naruto laughed. Again. Sasuke smiled. Again. The first rebel disappeared. The author looked at Naruto. What will you do? Naruto looked toward the village. We'll live. Without powers. Quote, yes. Without destiny. Yes. Without protection. Naruto smiled. That's what freedom means. Days passed. Naruto learned how to live without chakra. Sasuke trained with a normal sword. Astra became a teacher. The unwritten started helping farmers. End became a storyteller. Aki explored the forests. Kai built homes. Ren taught children. The author watched silently. For the first time, nobody needed him. But Naruto noticed something. The people were struggling. There were arguments, mistakes, losses, fear, but they were also laughing, growing, learning, choosing. Naruto smiled. Maybe this is what the first rebel wanted us to understand. Quote, Sasuke nodded. Freedom isn't perfect. No, it's real. Suddenly, a bell rang across the village. Everyone stopped. A black mark appeared in the sky. The first rebel returned, but now he was older. He looked like a young man. He stared at Naruto. You survived. Naruto smiled. We lived. The first rebel looked around. And you're happy? Naruto nodded. Yes. The first rebel became confused. Even without power. Yes. Even with pain. Yes. Even with loss. Naruto looked toward the sunset. Yes. The first rebel lowered his head. I don't understand. Naruto walked toward him. Then stay. The first rebel looked up. Why? Because you don't need to understand everything today. Naruto smiled. You can learn. The first rebel stared at him. For the first time, the blackness in his eyes disappeared. He whispered, maybe I want to. The black paths across the realities began turning golden again. But one path remained black. It led somewhere nobody had ever seen. The author looked at it. His face became pale. That path shouldn't exist. Naruto asked, where does it lead? The author whispered, to the place where choices are born. Naruto looked at Sasuke. Sasuke smiled. Looks like we're going again. Quote, Naruto laughed. Of course. And together, they stepped toward the final unknown. Where choices are born. Naruto and Sasuke stood before the black path. The others remained behind. The author looked at Naruto. Once you enter, I can't follow. Naruto asked, why? Because I was created from stories. And this place exists before stories. Naruto nodded. Then we'll go alone. Sasuke stepped beside him. Together, they walked into the darkness. The moment they crossed the boundary, everything disappeared. No ground, no sky, no sound. Naruto looked around. What is this place? Sasuke shook his head. I don't know. A small light appeared ahead. Then another. Then millions. Each light was a thought. A decision. A possibility. Naruto reached toward one. The moment he touched it, he saw a child deciding to tell the truth. Another light showed someone choosing forgiveness. Another showed someone choosing revenge. Another showed someone choosing to walk away. Naruto finally understood. This is where choices are born. A voice answered. Yes. A woman appeared. She wore a simple white dress. She had no chakra, no power, no symbols. Naruto asked, "Who are you?" She smiled. "I don't have a name." Sasuke asked, "Are you the creator of choices?" She shook her head. "No, I am the space where a choice becomes possible." Naruto frowned. "Then who controls this place?" "Nobody." Naruto smiled. "Good." The woman looked at him. "You changed everything." Naruto shook his head. "People changed themselves." She smiled. "That is why you were allowed to reach this place." Sasuke asked, "Allowed by whom?" The woman looked around. "By nobody." Naruto understood. "You chose to let us enter." She nodded. "And now I have a question for you." Naruto waited. The woman raised her hand. A single golden light appeared. Inside it was Naruto's entire life. Every victory, every loss, every friendship, every mistake, every decision. She asked, "If you could erase one choice from your life, which one would you remove?" Naruto stared at the light. He thought about everything. The 9 tails, his loneliness, his fights with Sasuke, the war, the people he lost, the pain. Then he smiled. "None." The woman looked surprised. "Not even your greatest mistake?" Naruto shook his head. "Every mistake brought me somewhere. Every loss taught me something. Every painful choice became part of who I am." Sasuke looked at him. "I agree." The woman smiled. "Then you understand the final truth." Quote. Naruto asked, "What truth?" She answered, "Freedom isn't the ability to choose perfectly. Freedom is accepting that your choices belong to you." The millions of lights began glowing. Every reality connected. The black path turned golden. Naruto looked behind him. The author, Astra, End, the unwritten, Arki, Kai, Ren, and Yuna appeared at the edge of the path. The author stepped forward. "I finally understand." Quote. Naruto smiled. "What?" The author looked at the millions of lights. "A story doesn't need an author." "Then what does it need?" The author answered, "Someone willing to begin." Naruto smiled. "Then begin." The author raised his hand. But instead of writing anything, he dropped the pen he had been carrying. It disappeared. No more scripts. No more predetermined endings. No more forced beginnings. Every reality became completely independent. The woman smiled. "The story is yours now." Naruto looked at everyone. "Our story." The woman nodded. Then she disappeared. The place where choices were born became empty. Naruto and the others returned to the new world. The village welcomed them. For the first time, nobody was waiting for a prophecy. Nobody was waiting for a hero. They were simply living. Naruto looked toward the sunset. Sasuke stood beside him. "Do you think it's finally over?" Naruto laughed. "Maybe." Sasuke smiled. "That's not an answer." Naruto looked at the sky. "That's the point." A golden leaf floated down. Naruto caught it. There were no words on it. No prophecy. No warning. Nothing. Just a blank leaf. Naruto smiled. He placed it on the ground. Now anyone can write the next story. The wind carried the leaf away. And for the first time since the beginning of existence, the future was completely unwritten. The end. Thanks for watching animevis_lore. If you enjoyed this story, like, subscribe, and comment your favorite moment. If you want another epic what if anime story, comment, next story, below. See you in the next story.